Hi, welcome to American Reversion. I'm Steve Smith, and welcome to Freedom Friday on February 19, 2021. Freedom and equality. What do those words really mean? This last week, my kids started memorizing the Declaration of Independence. Um, we're not doing it in order because there was one part that I wanted them to start with. It's a part that all of you will be familiar with. One of my ancestors, my long ago ancestors, Arthur Middleton, was a signer of the Declaration. And that made that particularly interesting to my kids. And it gave them impetus to start learning about that time, that situation. What was it that brought about the need for that declaration? Truly a revolutionary document in its time, with concepts that were foreign before that, and these concepts of freedom and equality. So as we were starting with this first part that I wanted them to memorize, and which they now have down and repeated every day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Now let's stop right there, because I had to stop right there to explain to them, what does that really mean? We know that everybody's not the same height, the same weight, the same intelligence, that we don't look the same, we don't have the same inherent abilities. Some are mechanically inclined, others are not. Some are wonderfully artistically inclined. I'm not. We all have different strengths and different weaknesses. So what can this mean, that all men are created equal? And yet it's a foundational concept and principle on which our country was based. If we don't understand it, we have a difficult time using our knowledge of those documents, of the Declaration of Independence, to argue our case and to further our case as we go after an American reversion. We want to make people understand the need for going back to basic principles and rebuilding our country the way that it was supposed to. We have a lot of damage to take care of, a lot of damage control, and a lot of rebuilding, but without understanding these things, it's more difficult too. So I tried to explain to my kids what my concept of equality in that context was, and I told them that it was that we are all created equal in the mind of God and in our human worth. It didn't mean that we are all equal in talents or abilities, but it's that worth, that individual worth, that I felt was the important distinction. Well, I came across, and it's what I've put up today over on the Patreon channel. I hope you'll go over there and watch that. Larry Arnn, president of Hillsdale College, this is what he's speaking on in today's Freedom Friday video over there on the Patreon channel. And he addresses this, which is why I chose it. What really does that mean? He puts it in a way that is very, very interesting. And kind of like with a Bob Ross painting, you're not sure where he's going right away. And halfway through it, you're saying, I think he's kind of lost it on this. And then at the end, he brings it all together beautifully. And you have a real basic understanding of what does this clause, all men are created equal, mean. If we're going to have an American reversion, we need to go back to these unbelievably enlightened founders and understand what they meant, what they saw, what they were building, what they foresaw, and what's happened to it since then. See if we can restore that. So anyway, think about that on today. Think about that concept of all men are created equal. Go over to Patreon, listen to what Mr. Arnn has to say, and you will be the better for it. And with that, I wish you a good Freedom Friday. Remember that America needs a reversion, and it needs you to be a part of it. Have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.